I often refer to the subjects of my paintings as a choir. Well, I think sometimes it's more than just a choir. It's a choir with an orchestra and with set designers and props. It's a big theatrical performance is what it is. And the artist has one job, is to conduct the entire production. And that's what I'm doing here today. This is an 11 by 14 inch canvas. It's not very big. I used to paint all 8 by 10s in my small sketches, but I've evolved to this larger size. It's just working for me. And this particular canvas has been with me for a long time. Almost a year now. Well, that's a long time in an artist's studio. If you've ever been in a studio of a working artist, you know that there are numerous paintings in various stages of completion throughout the studio. Well, just look behind this canvas. You can see it's leaning up against yet another painting that is in progress. They can be in progress for a very long time. I like to finish, as I call it, with quotation marks, finish a painting in a relatively short period of time. And I'll set it up and take a proper photograph of it and crop it, and I'll put it out there. There's something about those simple sketches that I know a lot of people really love, I being one of them. And I make my paintings available, even at those early sketch stages. But once in a while, a painting goes beyond the sketch department. And eventually more and more musicians are invited into the orchestra pit. And more actors are involved in the production, and the choir gets bigger and bigger. What do I mean by all of that? Well, the painting becomes more involved. It's not really about detail because, as you can see, I'm not a detail-oriented artist. I'm more into the broad strokes. I really like the impasto, the liberal application of paint to a canvas surface. And while I may do a few fine lines, you can see a few of them here. I'm by no means what I would call a detail artist or a fine artist. I admire those guys and girls, let me tell you. The patience and the skill level in the realism stages and in the hyper-realism of portrait art and landscape art, it's astounding, and I am as astounded as anybody. But there's a whole segment of artists like me who are into a more loose kind of representational presentation. I think that's a good way of putting it. Representational. Because as A.J. Casson said, member of the group of seven, it's not the artist's job to reproduce a scene exactly as it was. For that, there are cameras that can take photographs. No, an artist's job is to present a scene in the interpretation, in the language of the artist. And separate all of the other stuff and forget about it. And that really is my approach to painting. I really love to just portray the aspects of a scene that really appealed to me when I was there. The tunnel through the trees, the light between the leaves, the sound of the water babbling down through the brook. I want all of that to come alive for you. And the way I do that is by keeping things relatively simple so that your mind can fill in all of the blanks, so that your own interpretation can come to life. For me, that's my way. Right or wrong, it's how it is. And it's how I love to represent the beauty that I experience. And part of achieving that comes from achieving balance. And that was what this painting was about here today. Taking away the strong, high contrast areas, just settling them back a little bit, using shades and values to take away the punchy, intrusive, kind of interrupting way that some of the high contrast areas tend to do. They tend to want to jump in and say, hey, look at me, and ignore all of the rest. I don't really want that to happen. As a good social person, we don't want to become the star of the show. We just want to blend in with our friends and have a good time together. And that is exactly how I feel about the way I paint. And I've looked at this painting for so many weeks now. I have a section on my wall right beside my easel where I hang my small works, and if I'm not totally satisfied with them, I'll just hang them there and live with them for a while. And over time, it comes to me what I can do to enhance or to bring this painting closer to what my ultimate goal is. That harmony of color, the story that becomes evident, just stitching it all together. Nothing really standing out against the other parts or the other aspects, just like a beautiful choir. Everybody has their parts, like an orchestra. It just wouldn't be complete without all of the different sections of the orchestra. And a good conductor understands that. And with his instrument, he keeps the flow moving, and he brings it all together and causes the production to be enjoyable to the audience. Well, you're my audience today, and I'm the conductor of this production. My name is Robert McAfee. That's with 2 F's and 2 E's, and well, it may not be the easiest name to remember, but That's who I am, and I paint every day. I've been a full-time artist for almost 20 years now. I've been painting all my life, 63 years, but it's been quite a career. And I like to share what I do here. YouTube is a wonderful place. Facebook, Instagram. Why not embrace these beautiful platforms as a way to share what we do with the world? There was a time when I had galleries all over Canada, but I have no galleries now, and I've opted for that because of the beautiful power of social media. And that's how I've met you today. So here we are. This canvas is finally feeling just right. How do you feel when you observe this scene? What are the thoughts that come to your mind? Do you feel the peace? I hope so. Can you feel the warmth? At the time of finishing this, it's minus 21 degrees in Toronto, close by where I live, and my goodness, we're getting a walloping this year. Thanks so much for watching.